got workmen in today. Like 5 of them. They're doing the boiler.
A year ago, a Philadelphia man clicked on a website for missing children and found a picture of himself that sent him on a search to unlock the secrets of his past.
People magazine first brought his emotional journey to our attention. Terrell Brown is here to pick up the story. Terrell, good morning.
Erica, Charlie, good morning to you both. Steve Carter always knew he was adopted, but when he got older, he started to wonder who his biological parents were. That curiosity and a simple web search took him on a journey that would change his life. And even today, there are parts of his story that remain a mystery. Carlina White was kidnapped as a baby from a Harlem hospital nearly 25 years ago. When police announced that not only had she been found, but she had solved her own kidnapping, the case made national news. Steve Carter was watching, and it got him thinking. While he's always been happy with his adoptive parents, something never felt quite right.
Just recently, it got more to the point where, wow, I really wonder who my birth parents are.
Carter knew he was adopted from a Hawaiian orphanage when he was 4, but his birth certificate was created almost a year after his birth, and he's labeled half native Hawaiian.
I don't really have many of the features of a native Hawaiian.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. I mean, there are a couple, but it's very far and few between.
On a hunch, he went to the website missingkids.com and searched the database. He looked through pictures of children reported missing in Hawaii in the past 34 years. And then you see a picture. Who is it?
My first thought was, oh my God, that's me.
The picture is an adult composite of what Marks Panama Barnes, a 5-month-old missing baby, would look like at 26 years old. This is Steve Carter at 34 years old. Their birthdays, 1 day apart, their birthplaces, identical. Carter emailed the picture to his adoptive mother.
And she's like, oh my God, that's you. I was like, that's what I thought. And she's like, but it can't be you. There's no way you could have been missing at 6 months and we'd be able to legally adopt you at 4.
Carter called Honolulu police and the department set up a DNA test. Nearly a year later, it was proven. Marks Panama Barnes is Steve Carter.
And that's when it really started to sink in that I've got another family.
A family with a mystery. Carter learned his biological mother disappeared with him in 1977. She changed his name, his birthday, even the race of his father. When Carter's biological father reported mother and son missing 3 weeks later, police couldn't connect the dots. Carter would end up in an orphanage, his biological mother in a psychiatric hospital. She later vanished without a trace. To this day, do you know where your biological mother is?
No one does.
But Carter did find his biological father. In a small town in Northern California, Mark Barnes remembers the feeling of hearing his son's voice for the first time since he disappeared more than 3 decades ago.
He introduced himself over the phone, and I was absolutely positively thunderstruck and amazed. And we just sort of, in an hour conversation, tried to catch up on 32 years.
Barnes says Carter's biological mother would often leave with him, but always return. Although he never stopped searching for his son, he wishes he reported them missing sooner.
Not one day went by when he wasn't in my thoughts.
Carter hasn't seen his father or any of his newly found blood relatives in person. It's still too soon. In the meantime, he's piecing together his childhood, a cold case closed, and one of the longest missing child cases in U.S. history solved.
It's just an incredible story. Does this present any issues for him in terms of his identity?
He has to try to consolidate all of the people he was over 34 years. So he has 2 birthdays, 3 birth certificates, 10 names total. And every time he tries to get help with this, a lot of folks throw up their hands and say, you know what, we've never dealt with this before. There's no protocol in place. So he said,